an original play by Molly J.
Holla!
Based on the classic Creepo TNG episode Sub Rosa. Our story opens at the funeral of Dr. Crusher's grandmother, Felisa Howard, a loving old woman who was the healer on a terraformed colony. After Dr. Crusher gives a heartfelt eulogy, the captain decides to take a stroll. Thank you for giving me a tour of the city, Pygmea.
My pleasure, Captain Picard. If there's one thing I love to do after a funeral, it's take a bonny stroll down the streets.
I see you've recreated Scotland on this planet for some reason.
I visited real Scotland when I was but a pig lad. Little did I know I would eventually grow up to be the pig mayor of my very own space Scotland.
I see.
Say, Captain Picard, since you're here with your fancy ship, would you mind looking at our weather control systems? They're about a century old, and I wouldn't mind having a Starfleet engineer take a look at them.
Of course. I'm positive Geordi and Data have absolutely nothing better to do. Besides, that's as good a reason as any for us to stick around for a few days in case some terrible story needs to unfold. Back at the late Felisa Howard's house, Dr. Crusher and Counselor Troy give some minor exposition. Beverly, your eulogy was so a lovely tribute. Look at this picture of your grandmother. Her eyes were so green.
Yes, all the Howard women had green eyes, except for me.
Huh. Hey, look at this candle. I've never seen one in a metal cage before.
Yes, that candle's been in my family for generations. It's supposed to represent the enduring Howard spirit.
Well, I'm sure that's the last we'll ever talk about it. I'll see you back on the ship.
Bye, Deanna. I guess I'll curl up and read my grandmother's journal. I'm sure there's nothing personal or of a sexual nature that she wouldn't mind me reading.
Knock, knock. Anybody home?
Who's there?
It's me, Ned Quint, the irascible groundskeeper of Space Scotland. Let me see that ghost candle so I can blow it out.
Absolutely not. This candle has been passed down to all the Howard women except for me, and now it's mine by default, so go away. Also, it's not a ghost candle.
All of you Howard women are so freaking stubborn about that candle. Well, I didn't say I didn't warn you. That candle sucks, and that's a fact. Now off I go.
Meanwhile, back on the Enterprise, Dr. Crusher discusses what she's read in her grandmother's journal with Captain Picard.
You wouldn't believe what I've been reading about in my grandmother's journals. Did you know she had a lover?
Oh, it would seem the Howard women have exceptionally vigorous libidos.
I certainly hope so, especially when you consider that Nana was 100 years old.
Seriously? Yuck.
According to these journals, his name is Ronan, and he's 34 years old. They met just after my great-grandmother's death. It appears they spent all of their time together, but Nana never mentioned him in her letters to me. Do you think that's odd?
That you're reading your grandmother's erotic memoirs? Yes.
Anyways, I'm excited to learn more.
Well, it looks like we'll be staying on Space Scotland for a few more days. That should give you some time to get your grandmother's affairs in order. Get it, affairs.
Thanks, Jean-Luc. I'm off to bed. Hopefully I won't have any weird sex dreams on account of Nana's journal.
Unfortunately, Dr. Crusher does indeed have a sex dream that is disturbingly real. She decides to meet with Counselor Troy and Tin Ford for some much-needed girl talk. You dreamt you were in bed with someone?
Not exactly. There wasn't another person in my dream. It was more like a presence.
You said you felt a touch.
A pair of hands. They were moving across my skin.
Seriously?
And there was a man who said my name. It was as if I knew him, or more like he knew me. He knew exactly how I liked to be touched. It was the most physical dream I ever had. The sensations were very real and extremely arousing.
Wow, frankly, I'm envious.
I did fall asleep reading a particularly erotic chapter in my grandmother's journal.
Say what?
She wrote very detailed descriptions about her experiences with Ronan. Very detailed.
You're still reading that thing? You know, I'm a counselor if you want to discuss, how you're getting off to your grandmother's sex diary.
You know, I think he was wearing a ring when he touched my shoulder and my neck. I wonder if I'll have another dream tonight.
Seriously, Beverly, gross. Meanwhile, Beverly beams back down to Space Scotland, where the bad weather has intensified. She decides to go visit her grandmother's grave to work through some of her recent experiences.
Oh, Nana, things are getting pretty weird. I wish you were still around so I could talk to you. What is up with you and this Ronan guy?
So you're back again, are ye?
It's Ned, the irascible groundskeeper. What are you doing here?
Tending to your nana's grave in the bloody storm thanks to that stupid ghost candle.
I told you before, it's not a ghost candle.
Oh, yeah? Well, how do you explain this crap weather?
The weather system things are out of alignment or something.
Yeah, you know who caused that. Your grandma's spooky boyfriend who lives in the candle.
That makes zero sense, and I hate you for saying it. I'm going to my grandmother's house.
Yeah, well, if you don't throw out that candle, I'll be burying another stupid Howard woman in this cemetery. And I work on commission, so more money for the irascible Ned.
Geez, what an old coot. Space Scotland is the worst place ever. Thankfully, I'm back at Nana's cottage so I can have some tea and read some more of her filthy escapades. Wait a minute. Where did all these flowers come from? Who's making all those spooky noises? Is someone here?
Beverly, it's I, Ronan, Nana's mysterious lover.
Show yourself. What's going on? Oh, what are you doing to me?
Do you remember me now?
You're the man from my dream last night.
I'm a spirit, baby. I was born in 1647 in Glasgow.
You're telling me you're an 800-year-old ghost who shacked up with Nana?
I found a home with Jessel Howard. She was a pretty lass with a mane of red hair and eyes like diamonds. I loved her very much. When she died, I stayed with her daughter, and on down through the years, generation after generation.
And now you're here on Space Scotland, 200 light years away?
When our family moved out to...
When your family moved out into the galaxy, I came with them.
Wow, this is the worst story ever.
I believe the Howard women are the most beautiful women I've known.
Oh no, Nana's ghost boyfriend is forcing himself on me.
Yeah, we're becoming one now, Beverly.
No, I don't want this.
No means yes on Space Scotland, Beverly.
I still don't understand how you live in a candle.
Just go with it.
Okay.
Meanwhile, back at the Enterprise, Data and Geordi have been unable to fix the weather control system. In an attempt to stop the ghost boyfriend of Nana Howard, Ned Quint is hit by a plasma discharge while tampering with the weather system, effectively killing the irascible groundskeeper. Having hindered the repairs, the weather continues to worsen on Space Scotland. In addition to these annoying events, Captain Picard gets more bad news and storms off to the transporter room.
Beverly, what the hell is this?
I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. I'm leaving Starfleet. Energize.
Belay that order. Beverly, you can't just resign.
I can do whatever I want, and I want to be a healer like my Nana and get freaky with my ghost candle boyfriend.
Did you just say ghost candle boyfriend?
No. Energize.
Don't energize. I can't believe you're actually doing this.
Jean-Luc, I've resigned my commission, so unless you plan on kidnapping me...
Is that a proposition? It's kind of hard to tell with you.
No!
Doesn't no mean yes on Space Scotland? But no actually did mean no, and Captain Picard reluctantly transported Beverly back down to the surface so she could reunite with Ronan, mysteriously spelled R-O-N-I-N instead of A-N, her ghost candle boyfriend. However, not to be outdone by some Scooby-Doo paramour, Captain Picard follows the Doctor back to her grandmother's love shack.
Knock, knock. Is anyone home?
Captain, what are you doing here?
I've come to meet this Ronan fellow who's stolen the heart of my third favorite Doctor.
Jealousy doesn't suit you, Jean-Luc. Besides, he's not here right now.
Well, that's convenient. Say, did you change the color of your eyes?
Yes, all the Howard women had green eyes, except for me. Do you like it?
Yeah, actually, it looks way better.
But I'm not leaving until I've had it out with Mr. Ronan.
Damn it, I told you to go. Why won't anybody take me seriously?
Because you're angry and you're a woman, which means you're hysterical and no one should ever listen to you. Now show me this lover boy that keeps boinking all the Howard women.
All right, Captain, I'll come out. Let's all just calm down.
This is the guy you like? Who did his hair, Prince Valiant?
No need to be rude, Captain. Beverly and I are in love, so off you go.
No way, I saw her first. Besides, I don't buy your story, Ronan. Where are you from exactly? Who is your family? What ship did you take to get to Space Scotland?
Jean-Luc, leave him alone.
I'll bet the pig mare hasn't even heard of you. And since there's only about 5 people who live on Space Scotland, that's mighty suspicious.
Oh yeah? How about I zap you now?
Zap.
Ouchie!
Oh no, Jean-Luc, I need my med kit.
Beverly, just let him die. We can go make out on the couch.
This is the same kind of plasma discharge that killed the irascible groundskeeper. You did it. You've been controlling me and my grandmother and all of the Howard women.
Yes, it was me. I live in a candle and I'm a plasma entity made of a ghost. But I'm still sexy.
I hate you now, and Ned was right. This candle sucks. I'm shooting it. Zap.
Gasp! Now I have nowhere to go. I have to live in you.
No.
No means yes.
I'll shoot you now. Zap.
Ouchie.
Oh no, I killed the only decent lover I ever had.
Meanwhile, back on the Enterprise, Dr. Crusher has tea with Counselor Troy to wrap everything up.
Somehow, Ronan realized that one of my ancestors had a similar biochemistry that was compatible with his energy matrix.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
I was about to be initiated into a very unusual relationship. You might call it a family tradition.
Okay.
But there's a part of me that's a little sad.
How so?
I reread the entries of my grandmother's journal. Whatever else he might have done, he made her very happy.
You are still reading those? All right. You have to give me the journals. No more reading grandma porn. The end. Welcome to a very special Valentine's episode of Treklenburg, brought to you by AdamMail.com. My name is Mike Earle.
Molly J.
And that was our very special presentation about our favorite episode to hate.
Yes.
Sub Rosa.
Best worst episode.
Season 7, episode 14.
And it's 14 like Valentine's Day.
I know, but man, sometimes this thing reads as like, an anti-drug screed, and sometimes it reads as like, this like weird rapey,
it's super rapey.
It's super rapey.
Beverly keeps saying no to everyone, and it's like, it's okay, you had an orgasm.
Exactly. Like
we'll just keep touching you.
I know, it's so terrible.
No means yes.
And she's all like, and I find it hard to believe outside of some sort of like, narcotic influence that Beverly Crusher is going to just surrender to whatever random Jude the Obscure / Heathcliff looking motherfucker that shows up and says, Beverly.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be like...
He literally does nothing.
Well, I think they're supposed to put some weight in the fact that he was kind of controlling her, I think. Like, they kind of mentioned that at the end.
Dude.
But it doesn't come off like that. Like, it just comes off as her being a weak female who,
Steve Martin in Little Shop of Horrors was less controlling than this guy.
Oh man.
He's
way
terrible.
to call me out on the spelling during the play.
No, that's how they spell it in the script.
Really?
Yes, exactly.
Woo. He's like a ghost samurai.
I know. That's no. I thought you knew that. I'm terribly sorry. No, that's because I noticed it in the credits today. I was like, it is spelled RONIN. What in the frick? Like it's bad enough. You've got
don't think I knew that.
Mayor of Space Scotland.
Space Scotland.
Who is not even like, he's just like some random alien dude who happens to love Scotland because his family went there once.
Yeah, I felt like I was finally home. I was finally home. I have to say, I feel like my Scottish accent started to wane Mexican for a second.
It did.
None
of those accents were good.
I have to say props to you. Like, Michael did all the voices except for 2.
Well, but still, it was they were all terrible. I hope you guys are as drunk as we are. Because honestly, that's the only way that anybody understands.
Yeah, I really hope
how hilarious that play really is.
It's a special thing. Message me, or we'll message Treklenburg if you'd like the hard copy, so you can perform it with your theater group.
Seriously, yeah, and
feel free.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Speaking of which, Trek translates extraordinarily well into community theater.
It does. You can watch all their webisodes if you don't believe us.
Totally. So happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
If you are shopping for something for your lover and you're doing that on AdamMail.com, go ahead and drop Trek in as your coupon code.
Yes.
Get 50% off one item and free shipping.
Why would you not get somebody a sex toy for Valentine's?
I'm saying, it's all right there.
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
Not only that, but I mean, it's like saying at the beginning of the night, listen, I know where we're going with this.
Or at least where you're going.
And I want to use this.
You might kick me out, but like cuddle up with this.
Yeah, that's right.
With Buzz.
I feel quite sure that I'm going to fuck up this evening at some point. So just here's something to take care of that.
Here
need
you go. You know what you like better than I know what you like.
It's a dong. No, seriously.
It's Ronan.
Ronan.
It's shaped like a ghost candle.
So terrible. God, that guy. He's so annoying. Like he even like dresses like all. Why is it like he was born in 1647, but he dresses like Beau Brummels, and like nobody else on Space Scotland really dresses like that. It's got like other casual
wrong
shit.
Period.
Yeah, exactly. You would think that seeing
like
Oscar
19th
fucking
century.
Wilde
Yeah,
walking down the street in Space Scotland in 2400, in the 24th century, that you would be like, hey, dude. You're like a ghost or something, right?
He's not even wearing a kilt.
Oh my God, no.
But
kilt.
that's because he actually wasn't. He was a liar. He's a anaphasic
life form.
Lying life form.
It's always something like that.
Anaphasic life forms took the form of a cute little dog on one of my other favorite bad episodes, Aquiel.
I'm scared, Jordy.
I'm scared, Jordy.
And you know what? It sounds like we're being racist like that, but that's how she sounds. She actually says, I scared Jordy. And she says it in such a way that it just sounds, you're like, oh my God.
It's
how many
funny.
episodes? Like how many times did she like watch Gone with the Wind in a row before she filmed that scene?
Oh no!
It was terrible. I felt bad for her. I felt bad for everybody.
Terrible. And she has like a stupid telepathic power where they get off to a cone, like in Coneheads. Except,
oh yeah, I know. And that comes back around in your favorite episode of Enterprise. All we did was stick my hands in this box full of pebbles.
It's just a box full of pebbles, Captain.
What? I love the telepathic love aspect of Trek. Like there's always some weird telepathic sex thing that's going on.
They stole it from Barbarella.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because
best telepathic love scene ever.
But Barbarella is one of the best movies.
I love that movie.
Barbarella.
It's so good. My favorite is the manic depressive angel. He's like, well, he's more just depressed. He's like,
I know, it's Jude Law's dad.
I can't fly.
My name's Pygar. I'm blind. I can't fly, but if you fuck me, I can.
Guess I'll go eat some thistles.
Yeah, she bones everybody in that movie.
That's what makes it a great movie.
That's true. I think my favorite dude that she bones in that movie is the dude who sails around on the ice. And
the guy in the sled.
Yeah,
I love that.
I know. He's awesome.
He's the one who teaches her she's like, okay, let's do it, and he's like, take off your clothes, Nomi.
Yeah. She's like, come on, let's cocoon it right now. Like Monica from Friends and Steve Guttenberg. In the pool.
I don't know this story.
Cocoon? Have you seen Cocoon? Well, Cocoon it's about these old folks, Wilfred Brimley and Don Amici and Jessica Tandy.
Sold.
Steve Guttenberg plays an alien that helps them feel youthful, and Courtney Cox runs the retirement home, and they end up doing it while they're in a pool, and
nice.
he shines on her or something like that.
Ew.
It's a lot more touching than Ronan.
He shines all over her face.
What got me about Ronan is he turns into green smoke.
Yep.
And he turns into a hurricane that's green.
Yep.
And he just plows right into you,
Yeah,
he
he's
just
like,
absorbs through your pores, and all I could think of was reefer madness the whole time that he was doing that, and she's all
it's a little bit like that because
she's
she gets overtaken with pleasure.
Oh God, do me Ronan, and
except she's actually saying no, stop.
I know, it's terrible. And that first time, whenever she's like, "Who are you?" What's going on? And he just basically rapes her right there, and he's like, "You remember me now, bitch?"
She's like, stop, and he's like, nope. No means yes on Space Scotland.
Yeah, it's terrible, guys. Sub
Rosa.
Rosa.
It's a bad message. I don't like the message that it's okay to rape women if you think they derive some pleasure from it. It's not okay to rape women.
No,
it's
it is not. It is not. And
this is the PSA from.
It is not a situation where you can get them addicted to your dick and they'll do anything for you.
It's not.
It's not.
It doesn't
it's
happen.
Not. There's and was he her space pimp? Somehow but he wasn't. But it's more like a space sex leech.
My favorite thing of this episode is how she keeps reading her grandmother's journal. She's like, now I'm on chapter 53 where they 69 every day. And
I know, it's 50 shades of really gray.
Yuck. I'm like,
oh my God. Gray. And did you notice that the very first thing that happens in the episode is she starts wearing a Nana house coat?
Yes.
She's got the moo-moo kicking,
mm-hmm.
she's all trying to look,
Well, when she's about to leave, she's all in like
Yeah,
I'm
she
leaving on a
starts,
train or something.
God,
Clothes.
I know. She's got her stuff all packed up and
Yeah.
set there, and there's the little
Like a little hat
candle
box
on
or
top of it.
something.
They there's a lot of really shared imagery between this thing and Agatha Christie films.
Well, I think they were because they blatantly ripped off an Anne Rice story.
Oh God, yes.
And so I think that's where a lot of
Not
this
just an Anne
imagery
Rice
comes
story,
from.
like a whole she's got a whole series.
Yeah, it's a series. And I
The
guess
Lashers.
I guess this is like the main plot to one of the novels in the series.
Yeah,
as is my understanding.
Yeah, I
have not read them.
unfortunately, I used to travel a lot.
Is that what you call it?
And no, I used to I used to fly around all the country a whole lot for my old job, and you get bored reading stuff.
Sure.
You find stuff to read. It's not to say that they're good, but it's one of those things where our obsessive natures, you start into one,
You gotta do
know
it
what
all.
happens.
Yep. This
And
is true.
Wikipedia is not good enough. No. So anyhow, this is Sub Rosa, terrible episode. Moving on.
I hope you guys liked it. Give us some feedback.
Yeah. Come see us at facebook.com/Treklenburg. You can see where you can subscribe to the webcast, and you can leave us comments. You can leave us questions.
Yeah, we like all of that stuff.
Yeah. Our first episode, we actually had some people ask us some questions.
I know.
And
all dropped off.
I know. But that's all right. That's all right. Maybe we'll get them back around coming up here in the next. Earle says that we're freaks. And that's
a
true.
compliment.
That's true.
I take that a compliment from Earle.
I know. He knows freaks when he sees them. So yeah, this week's Valentine's Day, and we relish our Valentine's Day episodes here at Treklenburg.
Man.
Our last one we talked about that stud muffin Wesley and Ensign Robin Leffler.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about, who we thought Captain Picard's, best main squeeze was. Vosh. Of course, Vosh. But I will say...
Borg Queen comes in number 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Borg Queen is hot. Susanna Thompson,
Yikes.
I think, is the
she's
name.
pretty without the makeup, but with the no, yuck.
Oh, she's face pretty.
No, she's not. She's a
That's all there is to her
She's
anyway,
a
is
slime
face.
ball. No, she has a body she can stick on.
Well, she has a body.
She's fully functional. It's a body. There's a
Trained in
body.
multiple ways of pleasure. God, can you imagine having sex with a Borg?
Yes.
That would be weird.
I'm sure there's many, many slashes on that.
Oh, probably. There has to be.
No, I think
Your
that
favorite couple, of course.
Garak and Bashir, forever.
Oh, man.
Forever.
There's a season 2 episode of Deep Space
See,
Nine
it wasn't just me.
that Netflix has described. This is the one where Rugal, the little Cardassian boy, gets used
I like
in
that
a
episode
political
a lot.
maneuver for Gul Dukat to try to embarrass the member of the civilian government that was the mastermind of the Cardassian pullout from Bajor. Pullout.
Heyo.
The description for this episode says that Dr. Bashir's quote friend unquote Garak, which I still read. I still say that it comes across as every bit as spycrafty as I've always imagined it. I'm watching for this stuff now. I'm looking for it.
He played in an interview. Andrew Robinson.
Yes.
He said he played the character gay until they told him to stop.
Not very well.
No, he's supposed to be ambiguous, but come on.
Well,
I'm not the only one who read this because there's some wonderful slash out there.
I totally understand, and it is ambiguous. It is ambiguous, but it's not quite as ambiguous as everybody makes it out to.
No, there's so much sexual tension between these two characters. I love it.
Bashir has a
how
character
cute
arc
would
to
it
go
been?
through where he ends up being, like Mr. Super Agent.
Yeah, he actually becomes what he wanted. And then he
Exactly.
doesn't want it anymore.
I know. That's actually what a couple of the first, Deep Space Nine books that take place after the series closes, deal with is Bashir trying to get out of
Section 31, I think.
Yeah.
Is that the right number?
I think it is 31. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows who we're talking about.
I love the idea of Garak and Bashir. They always take the road of least resistance and pair everybody up in a heterosexual way. And I mean, they totally could have done it. It was the right time. Will and Grace, I'm pretty sure, was on the air at this time.
Oh yeah.
And but Rick Berman
it was like
is
maybe one or
really
two seasons.
conservative, and he would not. There was like the most minor of nods to gay couples in Deep Space Nine. None that I recall in Voyager, and none that I've seen so far in Enterprise. But you know what? I can't think of a single episode of Enterprise that actually has like, you know, legitimate like lesbian sex that's like either explicit or implied, that's not there specifically to be of prurient interest to somebody else. Like, exactly.
I think there's like, you know, some kind of
that
sexy stuff
count.
That deals with those three Orion slave girls in Bound, but that's like a distraction.
It can't just be like two girls kiss and it's hot,
but
and whatever.
You know, the intendant in the Ultimate Universe was like hot for everybody. And
that was one obscure nod, but she mainly wanted to get it on with herself.
Well,
so there's Freudian.
There's also Ezri Dax ending up with alternate universe.
Yep, that's the
Lita.
one of the two minor nods. One of two minor.
And they both have to deal with Dax.
There's that one, yeah, and the other one is when Dax...
Although, wait, now, isn't she Ezri Tegan? She's Ezri Tegan in the other universe, isn't she? She never got the Dax Simeon in the other universe.
I don't know.
Me neither, I can't remember. If anybody knows, tell us on the Facebook page.
What do I look like, a nerd?
Yeah, God, no.
It's not like I just wrote some play about Sub Rosa.
It's not like we don't write our own fan fiction on an episode. Treklenburg is the best night of the week, guys.
It really is. I look forward to this night.
Seriously, it's always so fun.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
So other Trek couples that we've covered before but are remembering today on this day of love.
Well, I wouldn't mind talking a little bit about Riker and Minuet.
Oh, yeah.
Like the first, if I'm correct, in a holodeck. It's in the
episode Binary.
Yes. And like in a
with
holodeck.
The Binars. Great name, fellas.
They're Binars. They're binary. Isn't it the first official holodeck romance?
Well, it's the first one that they film.
Yes.
I want to say it's like early on the holodeck to begin with.
Yes.
I mean, listen to me. That's a season one episode.
Was he talking to Geordi or Barclay? Like Riker was trying to coach one of those two guys, and he's like, "Hell, I fell in love with there once."
Yeah, I think it was Barclay.
Was it Barclay?
Yeah, I think it was whenever Barclay was having that, you know.
That's my favorite holodeck episode.
Minuet?
No,
the Barclay one.
The Barclay one.
Where Wesley eats the pie.
Yes, pie. Wesley pie.
God, it's so great. And Riker's tiny.
You behave or Master Barclay will spank you again.
I am the goddess of empathy.
Muzzle it.
Oh, God, yeah, so great.
Where is he? Let me at him.
We need to talk we'll talk about that episode another time.
I know, man.
We'll talk about that episode in the spring because it's like got that really, you know, like that very...
If we got a few people, that'd be a good radio play.
They all would be good radio plays.
No, only some.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We got to find a comedic angle.
All right.
It's always an angle.
I'm sure there's one hidden in the episode where Barclay's having sex with holographs of Crusher and Troy.
Does he ever actually have sex with them?
He has to.
I mean, we assume he does.
Yes. He went all the way in my mind.
Yeah.
We're not going half speed. They're in deep space.
Minuet is definitely the first like holographic love affair.
Man, I didn't. That was so terrible.
And you know, I don't buy that Riker was in love with her.
It was like they had one drink. And he's like, I love you.
I know, it's crazy.
I play the trombone.
She was invented by like some race of, you know, like alien computer geniuses that hijacked the Enterprise for whatever reason. I can't even remember. It was like some dumb reason to save their planet. Like they just needed like the dumbest
some
planet
sort of
save.
Some blanket. Just
I mean, it wasn't
slap
even
some excuse.
I know. It was basically like we need the Enterprise to come fire a ray at our planet. You know, it wasn't like that one time whenever Data's mother shows up and she's an android too. Whenever they had to drill into the planet's crust and set up like these magma heaters to you know re-liquefy the planet's core. That was crazy.
That's
that was
more
like complicated.
legitimate,
It was
yes.
not just let's reroute the power conduits.
It's not, let's stick around and fix the weather system while a ghost rapes Beverly.
Yeah, it's not. Nothing is.
Nothing gets there. They come close, but that's such a perfect, terrible episode.
Oh God, yeah. But it's there's no buts about it. It's terrible. It's reprehensible. I can't imagine having to film that thing.
Riker and the androgynous woman from Androgyny Planet. Another terrible romance.
That is that's one I didn't buy either.
Because he falls in love immediately. He's like, I love you because you're pretty much a girl. She's like, I am a girl. And then they brainwash her and then she's like neuter again.
And you know what? I mean, that always struck me as also really culturally insensitive too. On Riker's part.
Right, he doesn't respect their culture at all.
It's not very Prime Directive of him.
It was completely against the Prime Directive. And he breaks it. He goes down there to rescue her.
To rescue her from
her culture.
Her own culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that's terrible. And he falls in love quick. It's like anytime they need a story, Riker falls in love with blah. That's just what it is.
I mean,
it's like their go-to trope.
For Riker, you have to go Riker Troy.
Troy, it's meant to be.
It's meant to be. They try to fight it, and then they have a really climactic wedding on Nemesis.
Well, I mean, it is William Riker.
Oh.
Everything about William Riker is
Ouch.
anticlimactic.
Except for the beard.
Even the beard ends up being anticlimactic.
No, the beard's the best thing about... Oh, no,
it's
okay.
like he showed up with that beard, and everybody was like, oh, yeah, that does look really good on him.
It does look good on him.
It wasn't even shocking.
It's a great beard. That is a wonderful beard, and I will not let you talk trash about that beard.
I'm not talking trash about it. It is an immaculate beard. I mean, like you said, it's a symbol of status.
It is.
But it's just perfect. First episode of season 2, blam. It's
Yes.
there, sprung forth fully from the head of Zeus, fully clad in beard.
The beard is...
William Riker.
Weren't we talking about the Merkin? Wasn't that his beard?
No, the Merkin is, our special, that's our special sex product. It's named after William Riker. The Merkin.
That was it, right? The beard. Wasn't...
Oh, it was shaped like a beard, but it was a Merkin.
I know. I was trying to remember which... the Merkin was the Riker beard, right?
It was the Riker beard Merkin, yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I was pretty sure.
Yes.
It could have...
the ball gag was the shut up Wesley.
Yes.
And the blindfold is the Geordie.
These are such great... Adam Mail, come on.
Come on. We need these sex toys.
These would be so good.
People will buy them.
People would totally buy... I would buy at least the blindfold.
Yeah, I mean, because, you can totally use it to wink, wink, go to sleep with.
I just wear it as a neckerchief.
That little wink, wink was my little nod to...
Could you hear him wink, ladies and gentlemen?
That episode
he does it really loud.
of TNG where they have all the crazy pockets of time, and Troy tells that story about the guy who hits on her.
Wink.
Hello,
wink.
Diane. Talking about his sex research in which she liked to engage in some empirical research.
So, D Space Nine, Captain and Cassidy
Captain Picard
Yates.
and Cassidy Yates. Does he know that she's secondhand news? Does she know? Does he know that she was totally doing it with Worf's half brother?
No, that wasn't her.
She had a baby with him on a different planet.
That wasn't her. Damn it. The actors get recycled.
Penny Johnson, right? I think
I'm pretty
her
sure.
name is Penny Johnson.
What a nice name.
And they even recycle her in Deep Space Nine. They bring her in, they write her out, and they bring her back.
Who was she before?
No, she was still Cassidy Yates, but she goes to jail.
Right.
She goes to prison for being a Maquis.
Well, I didn't think they wrote her out.
In TNG, if they went to prison for being a Maquis, they would never come back.
Oh,
and
but
they would never get back down with
She helped him out a little bit or something.
She did, but she gave up.
She got a better sentence because she was helpful, and it probably helped that
totally pulled a white dude on Voyager. She pulled a Tom Paris. Tom Paris is now and forever known as the white guy. Because he's the only person on the bridge who's the white guy on Voyager.
Well, Yeah,
and you know what?
yes.
That's fine. I'm just calling him that because that's who he is.
I mean, that's true, but like to be honest, I never thought of that.
well, we're white. We don't think of that.
Everyone's white unless proven not white. I don't know. I didn't think. I mean, that is a good point. It's probably the most diverse crew.
Bridge crew?
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I don't know. I mean, think about it. I mean, Klingon, like Beta Z.
Well, I'm talking
two
about
white
like
dudes, an android, and then Ensign Gates was an African American queen.
I think if we're talking about like real ethnicities, it's the most diverse crew.
Yeah, I mean, there's
like if we're not counting stage makeup.
there's like a South American Chakotay, and there's a
who's an Amazon woman, and he completes the lesbian triangle between
and there's-
Janeway and Seven of Nine,
and Harry Kim obviously is Korean.
and never gets laid.
Never.
Not once.
Does not
Like if you
happen.
talk about the greatest romances on Voyager, there would be nobody for Harry Kim. He doesn't
There
get
is no one
any
for
play,
Harry Kim.
and he stays an ensign the whole time. He doesn't get promoted once.
I know.
It sucks.
Wait, no, doesn't he get promoted lately? I mean, Tom Paris gets promoted.
He gets promoted and
Promote
then
the white dude.
demoted.
Sure, promote the white dude. Promote him, then demote him, and then promote him again.
Yep.
Sure. But Harry Kim?
I'm pretty
Nope.
sure Harry Kim gets nothing.
Man.
Like they're stuck out there forever, and he
So
doesn't get
terrible.
laid or promoted.
Speaking of Voyager, and speaking of Kelly Waymere, the tragically rest in peace actress from Enterprise.
Right.
She was in an episode of Voyager that you might remember, the one where B'Elanna Torres gets stranded on that Greek tragedy planet. Shining Voyager.
Right.
That's
I liked. That was a better B'Elanna tour. Now here's another one of my favorite worst episodes, which we need to talk about at some point, not necessarily today. Is when B'Elanna Torres goes to Klingon hell.
Oh God.
Such a wretched episode.
So many bad names too, like Greythor, and just terrible.
And they have to sing a song, and it's
And you know what?
so awful.
B'Elanna Torres and Tom Paris as a relationship. I mean, it's Valentine's Day. It was so annoying to me that they went to such troubles to be like, they have everyday problems just like your relationship
Yeah.
does. You want to watch cartoons. She wants you to do things with her.
The whole thing was
I mean,
forced.
It was really bad.
I didn't buy it. Like last year when we did this, our number one couple, which I think still remains true in my head, is Keiko and O'Brien.
Keiko and O'Brien is a really solid relationship.
Love those two.
I'm gonna go in though and say Lita and Rom.
Okay.
Lita and Rom is also
That's a good
really
one.
great relationship. They really make each other better.
Yeah.
And Nog likes her. She's a great stepmom. I mean, honestly, if you were Nog, wouldn't you want Chase Masterson
Oh
to be
my
your
God.
stepmom?
Yeah. It's like tuck me in, mommy.
Chase Masterson. Good Lord, y'all.
No, I think Keiko and O'Brien is aces.
They're definitely the perfect couple.
Yeah, and they have such a wonderful relationship. It grows.
Tough as nails.
There's tension, but there's constantly love. She's tired of being in space. He loves being an engineer.
She saves his life whenever she notices that he drinks the coffee late in
Yeah.
that one episode of DS9.
He saves her life, like when the alien possesses her body.
the Pa Wraith.
That was
Yeah.
right. That was a Pa Wraith.
And he also holds a gun on her when that alien possessed his body. And he's all like, I gave that
That's
to
right.
you.
Is that the one where she gives birth to his child?
No, she already had the baby.
That's right. That was in the one with Picard.
Yeah, that was
Picard
Captain Picard
singing.
Day.
Oh, I love Captain Picard Day. And he's singing in we need a climbing song, children.
Yes. Do you know Frere Jacques?
My favorite kid was the kid's like, we're all gonna die.
Yes.
It's like, that would be me. Like, if
Yes.
the turbo lift was falling, I'd be like, we're dead. We're
Yes.
dead as shit. And the
Yes.
captain's like, you need to go on without me. I'd be like, no way. You're the captain. And like, if I go on my own, I'm gonna die because I'm in one episode. You're not gonna die. We're staying together.
Right, yeah. If the camera's on you,
The kids that was a good call by the kids.
Yeah, for real. For real.
So should we talk about Enterprise?
We should. Yeah. We
we
got like 20 minutes left, so we need to plow
segue?
through it. Yeah.
I did my homework and I watched 3 episodes of Star Trek Enterprise. I'm really close to knowing the whole theme song.
Oh man.
I'm really close.
You know, like I just can't wait for you to get to some things about Enterprise.
I'm getting there.
Section 31 is up in that mother.
Hey, no spoilers.
Ah, so good.
The first episode I watched this week was Terra Nova.
Terra Nova, yes.
And I loved the premise of this episode that it was one of the first terraformed colonies.
It wasn't even terraformed.
Oh, it was just
like
new.
a pioneer colony.
It's a pioneer colony. And but then things got weird and they were never heard from again. And so they go there, and then the episode just gets terrible.
No!
Terrible episode.
Oh my god, it was like they found the Morlocks.
They found the Morlocks. Okay.
And they had all that great slang, like, you know.
The slang sucked.
You gutted our Goa-Force.
It's all shale. It's all shale.
It's all digger shale.
Like, it's like, is that all you got is shale? Why don't you just say shit? It's all bullshit.
No, that's digger filth. Shale just means unsteady ground because when you try to dig through shale.
Shale means lies. It's all shale.
Exactly. It's unsteady ground. It looks like ground, but when you stand on it,
I understand the concept, but they had it was terrible. Like this subculture of mole people have been around for 70 years. They could have come up with more than 3 dirt related words.
Well, it was, you know.
I did not like the episode. I liked the premise. And then there was this whole thing where like they get down there and the tunnel collapses and the one guy's like, give me your pistol. If you want to get out of here alive, give me your pistol. And he does. And he doesn't do anything with the pistol. I was like, is there some sort of like underground grizzly bear? Like he's going to have to shoot and only he knows about it because he's a mole person.
That's what I assumed it to be.
And he doesn't do anything with the pistol. And then Captain Archer's like, give it back because the tree fell on the guy. And so they're going to save the guy. And Archer's like, give me the pistol back. And then it's like, you already went through this whole thing where Archer didn't want to give him the pistol. It's like, you have to trust me. I don't want to trust you with my gun. You have to trust me. And then he gets his pistol back and he's like, you got to give it back. You have to trust me. I don't trust you. It's like, oh my God, we just went through this. Give him the pistol.
He totally cuts that thing through, you know? I mean, I don't know. It's a weird episode. I like it, but I'm gonna like it. You know? I mean, like that was my default setting for that whole thing I was going to like it anyway. But what I like about it is, you know, it's that drama of the whole thing where, like, you know, they think that the Earth is getting too pushy and wants to send more settlers out too quickly.
I liked that.
And they have that, you know, asteroid hit and they think the Earth has attacked them. And so they all died.
That was really a premature assumption to jump to.
Well, you know, communication wasn't all that good back then, you know?
But they were from Earth, and like humans have this inherent thing, especially like throughout pretty much all the series, there's like humans stick together and you always help humans.
That's true. And this was like, you know, bleeding edge of just out of the whole, you know, I mean, like Zephyr Cochrane, like maybe 20 years before, you know, they sent them out there like way prematurely, which I think was part of the point, you know, like.
Well, and like I said, I did like the premise. I thought the episode had promise.
Well, I think what it teaches us about the whole arc is that, you know, humanity starts in one place and, you know, evolves towards something else. You know, like the whole point of Enterprise is really to show humanity going through the process of becoming that discordant, you know, post-apocalyptic, post-World War III, or genetics wars or whatever war it was, you know, society, and turning into the society that founds the Federation.
I dig on the arc, and I dug on some of the things put forth by this episode, but that unfortunately did not a good episode make.
Well, it honestly, you're right. It is a way better episode in retrospect than it is the first time you ever watch it. The first time you ever watch it, you're like, "Are you kidding?" I mean,
it's trite, and you know, it just kind of the plot just stops basically. Like they were kind of going somewhere, and then it's like, okay, now we're back in the tunnels. Now the tunnels collapse. Now save the guy. Now I don't trust you. Do you trust me? No.
Well, there's that key line where he says that if I can't make first contact with humans, then what good am I doing out here?
Right.
And you know, he rises above the occasion, proves that he can do it.
That's okay. There's some minor character development that, you know, I can appreciate, but overall, I didn't like it. But that leads me to the first episode of Enterprise. Excepting the pilot, I did kind of like the pilot. I admit. But aside from that, this is the first episode of Enterprise coming up that I really like.
Oh, man.
We love Jeffrey Combs.
And you know what
Can we get him on the show?
God, I wish. Jeffrey Combs, if you are listening, I will send you a Wesley Crusher and a Geordie LaForge for free.
You will
I
get
will
the
pay
Riker
for
Merkin.
myself and a Riker Merkin. We will send
The
them all
Vulcan
to
Shocker.
you. The gift package. We will just get. What do you want? Get
What do you
on the
want,
show.
Jeffrey
We'll give it
Combs?
to you.
He's such a great character actor.
And you know what's great about this episode is Andorians.
Yes.
They're nobody in the original series.
No.
They get mentioned once during TNG, and that's only like an Andorian youth with like some weird big cone head that Lal is looking at when she's trying to decide what she wants to be. But no, Andorians are big badass motherfuckers.
They're mean. They're militant. They're quick to anger, and they're really hard to beat up. And the best
And
thing
they're
about
smarmy too.
they're
Like he creeps all over T'Pol, that one dude.
He's mega creepy and like
I'll enjoy having you as my prisoner.
she would snap that boy in half.
Oh, she would.
And I'm not talking in a sexual way. She'd just kick his ass.
No, she would just totally kick his ass. Yeah. And then at the end of it, twist.
I know they were totally right.
Yeah.
I loved that. I saw it coming, but I still loved it.
Yes.
Like I was like, there's a reason why they can't go look at the thing.
Are you liking Trip any better?
No,
Come on.
maybe a little bit.
I mean, that little joke when he's walking past those mummies.
No, here's
Fellas.
the thing that made me like Trip a little bit more is actually in the next episode we're going to talk about.
All right.
But I really liked the Andorian incident. It was really well done. The dialogue suited the characters. I kind of saw Captain Archer's butt crack a little too much. I'm kind of hoping they fix that in his uniform.
Yeah, probably.
Like every time he bends over, it's just like crack city.
He's got a nice butt.
It's all right.
Wants to show it off.
It's nothing to write home about.
Wow.
Trip
What I
has a
liked
nicer
about
butt.
that episode was the part where T'Pol says that she doesn't want to get under the covers with Captain Archer to keep warm because she's like the cold is preferable to the
To
smell.
the odor.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And he's like, "Get under here!"
she's so cold.
And then she totally takes the blanket. She's like, "Fuck you!"
But she still sits up, like keeps her head like way above, so that she's not having to smell as much.
God, humans stink.
I know,
We
but
stink.
It was a great episode.
We like smell like manure or something.
I really liked the catacombs.
It was a well done episode. I was like, finally, because I've watched 7 of these.
And you know what? It's a totally seminal episode to the series too. That incident it's called the incident at Pajem. Like it happens, it comes back. They talk about it later as evidence why they shouldn't keep going.
I thought it was a nice touch that the Andorians smashed the communicators with that Jakar stone.
Yeah,
Like it takes the P stone and starts bashing in their equipment.
I know.
I liked that.
I know.
Okay, and then the last but probably least, second to least, I like this one better than Terra Nova. Breaking the Ice. I did not like this episode.
Well, this is the one about
The meteor or the comet, the big giant ice comet.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, this episode really sort of like gets at the core of. Well, it sets up some conflict with T'Pol, with the arranged marriage and Vulcan.
I liked the exposition of
It
that
sets up-
storyline, but I hated writing back to the kindergartners. And that scene went on forever. It's like 15 minutes.
It did.
It's like, come on.
And it was pretty much just so that you could make poop jokes about Trip.
Yeah.
And it's all right. Whatever. Fill some time. But
It's terrible. It felt like they were killing time.
Did you notice, though, that there is a subtle TNG reference in the time when Captain Picard draws the smiley face in the smoke?
Yes.
Compared to the smiley face on
is that a reference?
To me, it is.
Okay.
Because he goes dot smiley face.
Dot smile.
Just like.
But how else would you make a smile? You don't make the smile first.
I don't know. I don't care. It just looked like it to me.
I did like
and
that
then
they
put the
turned
ears on it.
I love that they're like, Captain's like, people are watching us, and they're like,
They're
oh
like,
yeah.
Okay, ears.
And
And that Vulcan captain, that was like a total dickwad
So
during dinner.
rude, man.
Yeah,
Zero manners.
I have already eaten. Blah 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 blah.
You were easily impressed.
And then he like exactly,
And like
that
the
was
air just sucks out of the room.
I know. And then he like walks out and says like, Taj Bakov La Bafach.
No, I liked Trip
Paul.
a little bit better because he actually spoke like a real person for a while instead of like just these, Southern sayings or just, being.
But that's part of who he is, those Southern sayings.
No, there was actually a glimmer of a person underneath like preconceived dialogue.
There's totally a person underneath there.
I've seen the person underneath there and it looks great, but his face.
Well, you know what? Breaking the Ice isn't the best episode.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's just not one of the, definitely one of the failures of the first season.
It's okay. I feel like there's been several failures of the first season, but as we talked about before, it is the first season, and I'm probably being over harsh, but I am taking that with a grain of salt. I am keeping that in the back of my mind. This is the first season. The first season of Next Generation as a whole is terrible. It really is.
Yeah, there's a lot of dookie.
Yep.
To work around.
So I appreciate that. I do. And I'm being critical because I love the franchise. Some of these people are starting to grow on me. The people who I have yet to form a real opinion about, and it's mainly because I don't care about them or they haven't done anything to interest me in any way, would be Hoshi and Mayweather.
Yeah, well, Mayweather is cool because he's, the quote-unquote boomer, He grew up on a starship. His dad runs cargo.
Do they ever explain why they're called boomers?
The space boom. That's just like the baby boom. It's the space boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know.
Yeah, no, that's what he says space boom a couple times, and then they call him
You
a
don't have
boomer.
to say it like that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Molly J.
Space boom, duh.
Durhoy. No, but it's...
Boomers.
Yeah, there's a lot of cultural aspects that are that they go into with that, which I find interesting because it talks about how boomers are a different breed than people who stayed on Earth,
Right.
and there's this whole culture of boomers, and there's a couple of episodes where that comes into play where they meet other boomers and where there's this weird pushback where boomers don't want to join Starfleet because it's leaving their families behind, etc. But anyway, it works out really cool. It's kind of a cool sociological it's cut and dry between one set of people and the boomers.
I want him to develop, and he probably does, but at this point he has zero personality in the series.
Well, there was that time that he, finds the sweet spot and, hangs out upside down on the ceiling.
No, he's just hanging out there. It doesn't count.
But no, to me it does though, because they're talking, because, Travis is Trip is what are you doing up there? It's the sweet spot. It's, between the gravity plating and the gravity generator and
I know, but it doesn't, apart from the fact that he grew up in outer space, I don't know anything about this guy. A little bit more about
pilot.
Okay. Well, that's why he gets to sit in the pilot seat.
Yeah.
A little bit more about Hoshi, because she's got to air some of her fears a little bit earlier, but again, she's at this point in the series, she's really just kind of innocuous. I want to see more develop.
She expands later on. There's one actually in particular, very tense and suspenseful episode that features Hoshi during season 3, which of course is the season long arc of the Xindi, which is that's an amazing season of television, no matter how you cut it.
All right.
Season 2 gets better. Season 2 definitely improves upon season 1. It still deals mainly with the temporal Cold War.
All right.
But season 3 is where it really goes into overdrive, and it's a whole season long arc where they're following one story.
I like that. I love serial fiction, and I think we both agree on this point where that's really at the heart of the matter what made Deep Space Nine such a wonderful series.
Yes, I know, especially season 6.
Yep.
Well, season 4, 5, and 6 really.
Yeah, those are so
together.
good. I sent one time at some point we need to talk about, we should do a favorite episodes, and my favorite episode of all time is Deep Space Nine, and it's in the Pale Moonlight.
Really, that's
Oh,
to me,
yes.
it's a Deep Space Nine, but it's Inter Arma Silent Legis.
Which one's that?
That's the one where they kill that where they make the Romulans come into the.
That's in the Pale Moonlight.
I thought it was Inter Arma Silent Legis.
It's in the Pale Moonlight.
There's totally like they got to be part of the same arc.
You might be able to hear both.
Alpha.
You might be able to hear both of our computers typing at this point. In the Pale Moonlight, memory Alpha. Sisko enlists Garak's help to persuade the Romulans to join the Federation against the Dominion.
Attending a medical conference on Romulus, Dr. Bashir becomes embroiled in an elaborate scheme devised by Section 31 as a way to ensure the Romulans remain on the side of the Federation alliance. Different episodes, same kind of thing.
It is. Wait, I guess we're both right.
Kind of are.
Because Garak had, he basically assassinates Senator Vreenak, who I just sent you a wonderful meme. It's a rake.
Hang on just 1 second. I got to take this call. I'm terribly sorry.
You're okay. We got 5 minutes left.
Yeah, we got like 4 minutes. I'll call him right back. No big deal. Yeah, it's a fake. It's a rake.
It's a Jake.
It's a Jake.
Had you seen that before?
I had not, no. That was actually really funny.
I love that.
Did you do a top 10 list this week?
No, I did the play.
Ah, that's right. We didn't do a top 10
So
list.
that's okay.
Yeah, it's no big deal. But, to wrap it up, I guess, here for the last, few minutes of the episode, what have we learned from Sub Rosa? Lots of things are not okay.
Well, again, to be honest, I don't appreciate, and we've already said this 5 times, the way, it's not okay for, to come on to a woman because you think she wants it and justify it by the fact that maybe she liked it a little bit or what.
Or that you're going to, somehow make her love you.
Yeah, I really, it's a dangerous assumption and it's completely wrong. And it perpetuates the idea that, no actually does mean yes. And,
yeah, it's a really bad episode, guys.
But apart from that, I mean, that's kind of the more, if anyone would even take this terrible episode seriously, which I doubt they would, but you never know. So there's a lot of stupid people out there. What else did we learn from Sub Rosa? Well, ghosts can live in candles, and people accept that. I love how they just roll with that. They're like, okay, he lives in a candle.
Yeah, exactly. How does that even... They don't even explain how it works.
No, I can't believe the doctor of all people was like, okay, he lives in a candle. Sure.
I know, it's crazy.
It's terrible. And then...
how does he live in the candle? How does it summon him? How is it like a focus for his power?
Why does a ghost need to live in a... Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm haunting this candle now. For some reason, which is in a metal cage. I really think that's one of the ugliest props I've ever seen that gets used continuously throughout an episode.
It really is a bad prop.
Isn't it?
It's not even like a fancy looking candle.
It's like this most uninspired candle.
I mean, it's kind of like, that's an ugly candle, like that's an ugly cup at the end of Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just totally nuts.
We've learned that even pigs can become the mayor of Space Scotland.
You know what? That is like the dorkiest guy. I just gotta say, I'm gonna finish this thought from earlier in the episode. But this is basically like the dude who goes to Dinosaur Land whenever he's a kid and decides, I want to be the mayor of Dinosaur Land when I grow up. And guess what? He makes a whole planet and does it.
By God, he does. And only 5 people live on it.
I know. It's crazy. There's it's like this tiny, tiny little, community that has this really old church.
Yeah, and a healer.
Yeah, I know. No doctors. We got healers.
And then 2 people die on Space Scotland, so that takes the population down to 3.
I know. I mean, come on. You're just eating straight through people. How do they keep that place going?
I don't know.
It's crazy. Space Scotland is not a place that we really want to go. Real Scotland, yes, because it sounds pretty dope. But
spared no expense.
Yeah, I know.
It's like Jurassic Park, but with Scotland.
They brought over cornerstones from Aberdeen and Edinburgh.
That's what they say. They could lie about that, and you would never know.
You wouldn't, because you're millions of light years away from that place.
Sure, we're not going to do a scan.
Yeah, they're not going to scan it. Oh, this came from New York City.
New York City.
Oh man, well, I guess it's happened. Here we're 45 seconds away from the end of our lovely hour with you.
It was fun,
Thanks
guys.
Thanks for spending the best night of the week with us on Treklenburg, brought to you by Plaza Midwood Community Radio and AdamMail.com. I'm Mike Earle.
Molly J.
Next week, we'll talk about some more Trek stuff. We'll even bring back a top 10 list. I'll do a top 10 list.
Yeah, it's your
next
turn.
week.
Yes.
And everybody, we'd love to hear from you. You can get us at facebook.com/Treklenburg. And come let us know how you like the program. Let us know what you want us to cover.
We're loving
any
it.
ideas that you've got. We're open to your input.
Yes, input.
Yeah, input, Stephanie. And I guess we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Peace out, guys. We love you. And Adam Mail does too.
Ooh.